Welcome to Learn English with Saya.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Learn English with Saya. I'm Maya.
And I'm Alex. How's everyone doing today?
I hope you're all having a great day. So Alex, I have a question for you. What did you do this morning before recording this podcast?
Oh, this morning? Well, I woke up around 7 a.m., made myself some coffee, took a shower, and then I checked my emails while eating breakfast. Pretty standard morning for me.
See, that's exactly what we're talking about today. Your daily routine.
Exactly. And you know what? Talking about your daily routine is one of the most useful conversation topics in English. It comes up all the time.
So true. Whether you're meeting new people, doing a job interview, or just making small talk, people often ask, so what's a typical day like for you? Or what do you usually do in the morning?
Right. And the great thing about this topic is that you already know your own routine. You do these things every single day. You just need to learn how to express them in English.
Exactly. So today we're going to teach you how to talk about your daily routine naturally and confidently. We'll cover morning routines, work or school days, evening activities, and weekend habits.
We'll share tons of useful vocabulary, common phrases, and time expressions. Plus, Maya and I will share our actual daily routines so you can hear how real conversations sound.
And remember, we want this to feel like a conversation with friends, not a boring grammar lesson. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, get comfortable, and let's talk about daily life.
Before we dive in, quick reminder, if you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell.
Yes, and leave a comment telling us about your daily routine. We love reading your comments.
All right, let's get started.
Part 1, Time Expressions and Basics.
Okay, so when you're talking about your daily routine, the first thing you need to know is how to talk about time. Alex, what are some basic time expressions?
Great starting point. So the most common ones are in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and at night.
Right. Notice that we say in the morning and in the afternoon, but we say at night. That's just how English works.
Yeah, prepositions can be tricky. You can say, I go running in the morning, or I study in the evening, or I usually sleep at night.
Then you have more specific times. When you're talking about exact clock times, you use at, like I wake up at 7 a.m. or I have lunch at 1 p.m.
And if you want to be less specific, you can say things like early in the morning, late at night, around noon, in the middle of the day.
Ooh, good ones. Around is really useful when you're not giving an exact time. I usually eat dinner around 7 p.m. Means approximately 7. Could be 6:45, could be 7:15.
Exactly. And here's another important word, usually. This is perfect for talking about routines because routines are things you do regularly.
Right. Other frequency words you'll use a lot are always, often, sometimes, rarely, never.
Let me give you examples. I always brush my teeth before bed. That means 100% of the time, every single night.
I usually have coffee in the morning. That means most days, maybe 80–90% of the time.
I often go to the gym after work. That means many times, but not every day. Maybe 60–70%.
I sometimes watch TV in the evening. That's less frequent, maybe 30–40% of the time.
I rarely eat breakfast. That means almost never, maybe only 10% of the time.
And I never drink alcohol. That means 0%, not at all, ever.
These frequency words usually go before the main verb. So, I usually wake up at 7, not I wake up usually at 7.
Good point. Although with the verb to be, the frequency word comes after. I am always tired in the morning.
Right. Now, one more important thing. When talking about routines, we use the present simple tense, not present continuous, not past simple, present simple.
Yes. So you say, I wake up at 7 a.m., not I am waking up at 7 a.m., or I woke up at 7 a.m.
Present simple is for habits, routines, things that happen regularly. That's why it's perfect for this topic.
Okay, so now that we've covered the basics, let's start talking about actual daily activities.
Part 2, morning routine vocabulary.
All right, let's start from the beginning of the day, the morning. Maya, what's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Well, the very first thing is that my alarm goes off, or sometimes I say my alarm rings. That's when the alarm clock makes noise to wake you up.
Right. So you can say, my alarm goes off at 6:30 a.m., or I set my alarm for 7 a.m.
Then, hopefully, you wake up. I wake up at 7 a.m. The verb is wake up or wake.
And here's a related one, get up. This means you physically get out of bed. I wake up at 7, but I don't get up until 7:15.
Oh, that's me. I'm definitely not a morning person. I hit the snooze button like 3 times.
Hit the snooze button. That's a great phrase. It means you press the button that makes the alarm stop for a few more minutes.
Yeah, it's a bad habit, but I love those extra few minutes in bed.
I get it. Okay, so after you finally get up, what's next?
Well, for me, I immediately go to the bathroom. In English, we have lots of ways to say this. You can say, I use the bathroom, or I go to the toilet, or more casually, I pee.
Yeah, and then most people brush their teeth. I brush my teeth. Pretty straightforward.
You can also say, I wash my face, or I splash water on my face if you want to wake yourself up.
Then there's the shower. I take a shower or I have a shower. Both are correct.
In American English, we usually say take a shower, but in British English, they often say have a shower.
Right. And you can specify. I take a quick shower, or I take a long shower, or I take a hot shower.
After the shower, you dry yourself off. I dry off with a towel, or I dry my hair.
Speaking of hair, there are lots of hair-related phrases. I brush my hair, I comb my hair, I blow dry my hair, I straighten my hair, I curl my hair.
And don't forget, I put on makeup for people who wear makeup, or I shave for people who shave their face or legs.
Good ones. Then you get dressed. I get dressed, or I put on my clothes.
You can be more specific, too. I put on jeans and a t-shirt, or I change into my work clothes.
Now let's talk about breakfast. Some people make breakfast, some people have breakfast, some people skip breakfast.
Yeah, skip means you don't do it. I usually skip breakfast because I'm not hungry in the morning.
Common breakfast activities include I make coffee, I brew coffee, I boil water for tea, I toast some bread, I fry some eggs.
Or if you're like me, I grab a quick breakfast, or I eat breakfast on the go. That means eating while you're traveling to work or school.
Very modern. Okay, before leaving the house, what else do people do?
Let's see. I pack my bag, I check my phone, I put on my shoes, I grab my keys,
I lock the door when you leave.
and finally, I leave the house, or I head out, or I go to work or school.
Perfect. So that's a full morning routine. Let's quickly run through a complete example.
Sure. Here's my typical morning. My alarm goes off at 6:45, but I usually hit snooze once or twice. I finally get up around 7 a.m. I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and then take a quick shower. After that, I dry my hair and put on some light makeup. I get dressed in something comfortable, usually jeans and a nice top. I make a cup of coffee and have a small breakfast, usually just yogurt and fruit. Then I pack my bag, grab my keys, and leave the house around 8 a.m.
Perfect example. See how natural that sounds? It's just a simple story of your morning.
Part 3, commuting and and getting to work, school.
All right, so after you leave the house, you need to get to work or school, right? Let's talk about commuting.
Yes, commute is the word for traveling from home to work and back. You can say, my commute is 30 minutes, or I commute to work by train.
So, how do people get to work? There are lots of options. I drive to work, I take the bus, I take the train, I ride my bike, I walk.
If you drive, you might say, I get in my car, or I drive for about 20 minutes, or I park my car at the office.
You might also deal with traffic. I sit in traffic, or I get stuck in traffic. Both mean there's a lot of traffic and you're moving slowly.
Yeah, nobody likes traffic. You could say, the traffic is terrible in the morning, or there's always a lot of traffic on my route.
If you take public transportation, you might say, I catch the bus, or I take the 8:15 train.
Catch is a great verb for buses and trains. I catch the 7:30 bus every morning.
You can also say, I wait for the bus, I get on the bus, I get off at Main Street.
And during your commute, you might do other things. I listen to music on my way to work, or I read a book on the train, or I check my emails during my commute.
Or, if you're learning English, I listen to podcasts on my commute.
Perfect use of time. Now, when you arrive, you might say, I get to work at 9 a.m., or I arrive at the office around 9.
And then you start your workday. I clock in if your workplace tracks hours, or simply, I start work at 9.
Part 4, work or school day.
Okay, so now you're at work or school. Let's talk about what a typical day looks like.
Right. This part is going to be very different for everyone, but we'll cover some common phrases.
For people who work in an office, you might say, I sit at my desk. I check my emails. I attend meetings. I work on projects.
You can be more specific. I have a meeting at 10 a.m., or I answer phone calls, or I write reports.
Throughout the day, you might take breaks. I take a coffee break, or I grab a snack, or I chat with my coworkers.
Coworkers or colleagues, those are the people you work with.
Right, and then there's lunch. I have lunch at noon, or I take my lunch break at 1 p.m.
You can say where you eat. I eat at my desk, or I go out for lunch, or I eat in the cafeteria.
Or what you eat. I bring lunch from home, or I buy a sandwich, or I order delivery.
After lunch, you continue working. I work until 5 p.m., or my shift ends at 6 p.m.
Now, if you're a student, your day is structured differently. You might say, I have classes from 9 to 3, or I attend lectures.
You can specify I have English class at 10, or I study in the library, or I do homework between classes.
Students also say, I take notes. I participate in discussions. I work on assignments. I prepare for exams.
Whether you're working or studying, you might feel different ways during the day. I feel productive in the morning, or I get tired in the afternoon, or I feel energized after lunch.
Those are great for describing your energy levels. Okay, so eventually your work or school day ends.
Right. I finish work at 5, or I leave the office at 6, or my classes end at 3.
And then you commute back home. I head home, I drive home, I take the train back.
Part 5, evening routine.
Okay, now we're getting to my favorite part of the day, the evening. This is when you finally relax, right?
Exactly. So, when you first get home, what do you usually do?
Well, the first thing I do is take off my shoes. I take off my shoes, or I kick off my shoes.
Yeah, that's such a relief after a long day. I usually change into comfortable clothes or put on my sweatpants.
Ooh, yes. Getting out of work clothes and into comfy clothes is the best. You can say, I change into something more comfortable, or I put on my pajamas.
Then a lot of people feel hungry. I make dinner, or I cook dinner, or I prepare a meal.
Or if you're tired, I order takeout or I get food delivered.
Right. And you can specify what you make. I cook pasta, or I make a salad, or I heat up leftovers.
Leftovers. That's food from a previous meal that you saved.
Exactly. Then you eat. I have dinner, or I eat dinner. You might eat alone, or I eat with my family.
After dinner, you might do the dishes or wash the dishes, or if you're lucky, load the dishwasher.
Yes, nobody really enjoys doing dishes, but it has to be done.
Okay, so after dinner, what do people do to relax?
Oh, tons of things. I watch TV. I watch Netflix. I binge watch a series.
Binge watch is such a modern phrase. It means watching many episodes in a row.
Yeah, like I binge watched the entire season last night.
You might also read a book, listen to music, play video games, browse social media.
Or spend time with family. I talk to my family. I play with my kids. I help my children with homework.
Some people are more productive in the evening. I work on personal projects. I study. I practice a hobby.
Speaking of hobbies, that's a great topic for routines. You might say, I play guitar in the evening, or I do yoga before bed, or I paint, or I write.
And don't forget about household chores. I do laundry. I clean the house. I vacuum. I tidy up.
Tidy up means to make things neat and organized. It's less intense than deep cleaning.
Right. You might say, I spend 15 minutes tidying up before bed.
Now, as it gets later, you start winding down. Wind down means to relax and prepare for sleep.
Yeah. Your evening routine before bed is really important. I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I take off my makeup.
You might also take a shower if you didn't shower in the morning, or take a bath if you want to relax.
Some people have specific bedtime routines. I read for 30 minutes before bed. I meditate. I write in my journal. I set my alarm for the next day.
And you might prepare for tomorrow. I pack my bag for work. I prepare my clothes for the morning. I make my lunch for tomorrow.
Finally, it's time to sleep. I go to bed. I fall asleep. I sleep.
You can specify the time. I go to bed at 11 p.m., or I usually fall asleep around midnight.
And if you have trouble sleeping, you might say, I have trouble falling asleep, or it takes me a while to fall asleep, or I toss and turn.
Toss and turn means you move around a lot in bed because you can't sleep.
Hopefully, though, you sleep soundly or sleep well through the night.
Part 6, Weekend Routines.
Okay, so we've covered weekday routines, but what about weekends? Maya, is your weekend routine different from your weekday routine?
Oh, completely different. On weekends, I sleep in.
Sleep in. Great phrase. That means you wake up later than usual. I sleep in on Saturdays, or I sleep in until 10 a.m.
Yeah, during the week I wake up at 7, but on weekends I don't set an alarm. I just wake up naturally.
Same here. Weekends are for relaxation. So what else is different about weekend routines?
Well, people often say, I have a lazy morning, or I take it easy. That means you're not in a rush, you're just relaxing.
You might stay in bed longer, scroll through my phone, cuddle with my pet.
Yes. Then maybe I make a big breakfast, or I go out for brunch.
Brunch, that's breakfast and lunch combined, usually eaten late morning.
Exactly. It's very popular on weekends. I go out for brunch with friends on Sundays.
Weekend activities are often more fun and social. I hang out with friends, I go shopping, I go to the movies, I visit family.
Or catch up on things. I run errands. That means doing small tasks like going to the post office, the bank, grocery shopping.
Right. I run errands on Saturday morning. Or I do my grocery shopping on Sundays.
Some people use weekends for hobbies. I go hiking, I play sports, I work on home projects, I garden.
And some people use weekends to catch up on rest. I take a nap in the afternoon, or I just relax at home.
Take a nap means to sleep for a short time during the day. It's wonderful.
I'm jealous of people who can nap. I can never fall asleep during the day.
Really? I love naps. Okay, so evening routines on weekends might be different too.
Yeah, people often stay up later. I stay up late on weekends, or I don't have a strict bedtime on Fridays and Saturdays.
You might go out. I go out with friends. I go to a restaurant. I go to a bar. I see a movie.
Or have people over. I host a dinner party. I have friends over. We have a game night.
Sundays are often for preparation. I prepare for the week ahead. I do meal prep. I organize my schedule.
Meal prep is when you prepare meals in advance for the coming week. It's very popular now.
Yeah, some people spend Sunday afternoon cooking all their meals for the week. It saves time during busy weekdays.
Part 7, Real Conversation, Our Daily Routines.
All right, so we've covered a lot of vocabulary and phrases. Now let's have a real conversation about our actual daily routines.
Good idea. This will show how to use everything naturally. So, Alex, walk me through a typical weekday for you. Start from the morning.
Okay, so I'm definitely a morning person. My alarm goes off at 6 a.m., and I actually get up right away. I don't hit snooze.
Wow, I'm impressed. I could never do that.
It wasn't always like this. I trained myself over time. So anyway, I get up at 6, and the first thing I do is drink a big glass of water. Then I go straight to the gym.
Wait, you go to the gym before breakfast?
Yeah, I work out for about 45 minutes to an hour. I lift weights, do some cardio, nothing too crazy.
That's dedication. I prefer evening workouts.
To each their own. So I get back home around 7:15, and then I take a shower, get dressed, and make breakfast. I usually have eggs, toast, and coffee.
Classic breakfast. Then you head to work.
Exactly. I leave around 8:30 and drive to work. The commute takes about 20 minutes if there's no traffic.
And what time do you start work?
I start at 9 a.m. I work at a marketing company, so my job involves a lot of computer work, meetings, and creative projects.
What's a typical workday like?
Well, I usually start by checking my emails and planning my day. Then I have meetings throughout the morning, sometimes with clients, sometimes with my team. I take a lunch break around 12:30, usually for about 30 minutes.
Short lunch break.
Yeah, I like to keep working and finish earlier. In the afternoon, I focus on actual project work, writing content, creating strategies, analyzing data, that kind of thing.
When do you finish?
I usually finish around 5 p.m., sometimes a bit later if I'm really focused on something. Then I drive home, change into comfortable clothes, and figure out dinner.
Are you a good cook?
I'm decent. I like cooking, so I usually make something fresh. Maybe grilled chicken with vegetables or pasta or stir fry. It depends on what I'm in the mood for.
Sounds good. What do you do after dinner?
Usually I relax for a bit. I might watch a show, read, or work on a personal project. I've been learning to play piano lately, so I practice for 30 minutes most evenings.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you played piano.
I'm still a beginner, but I enjoy it. Then around 9:30 or 10, I start winding down. I brush my teeth, maybe read in bed for a bit, and I'm usually asleep by 11 p.m.
So you get about 7 hours of sleep?
Yeah, usually around 7 or 8 hours. It's pretty consistent. Okay, now your turn. What's your daily routine like?
All right, so like I mentioned, I'm not a morning person. My alarm goes off at 6:45, but I hit snooze at least twice. So I actually get up around 7:15 or 7:30.
Laughs. Hey, at least you're honest.
Right? So I rush through my morning routine. I take a quick shower, get dressed, do my makeup really fast, and then I grab something quick for breakfast, usually just a smoothie or a granola bar.
Breakfast on the go.
Exactly. I leave the house around 8:20 and take the train to work. My commute is about 30 minutes, so I use that time to listen to music or scroll through social media.
And what do you do for work?
I work in a publishing company. I'm an editor, so I spend most of my day reading and editing articles, books, and other content.
That sounds interesting. So you're sitting at a desk most of the day?
Yeah, pretty much. I have meetings occasionally, but most of my work is independent. I check my emails in the morning, then I dive into whatever project I'm working on.
When do you take lunch?
Usually around 1 p.m. I typically eat at my desk because I like to keep working, but sometimes I go out with coworkers to get some fresh air.
And what time do you finish work?
I'm supposed to finish at 5, but sometimes I stay until 5:30 or 6 if I'm on a deadline. Then I take the train home.
What's your evening like?
Well, I get home around 6:30, and honestly, I'm usually pretty tired. I change into my comfiest clothes. We're talking sweatpants and oversized t-shirt.
Laughs. The uniform of relaxation.
Absolutely. Then I figure out dinner. I'm not as good at cooking as you, so I often order delivery or make something really simple like pasta or a salad.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right? After dinner, I usually just relax. I love watching shows. I'm currently binge watching a crime series, or I'll video call my family, or just browse the internet.
Pretty chill evening.
Yeah, I need that downtime to recharge. Then around 10 p.m., I start getting ready for bed. I do my skincare routine, wash my face, moisturize, all that.
Oh, skincare routine. That's important.
It is. It takes me like 15 minutes, but it's relaxing. Then I usually read for a bit before bed. I try to avoid screens right before sleep.
That's smart. What time do you usually fall asleep?
I aim for 11 p.m., but it's usually closer to 11:30 or midnight. I know I should sleep more, but it's hard.
Yeah, I get it. So, what about weekends? Is your routine completely different?
Oh my gosh, yes. On Saturdays, I sleep in until at least 9 or 10 a.m., sometimes even later if I'm really tired.
Living the dream.
Right? Then I have a really slow, relaxed morning. I make a proper breakfast, like pancakes or an omelet, and I sit and enjoy my coffee while reading or watching something.
That sounds lovely.
It really is. Then I usually run errands, grocery shopping, maybe go to the pharmacy, whatever I need to do. In the afternoon, I might meet up with friends, go shopping, or just relax at home.
And Sundays?
Sundays are my reset day. I do laundry, clean my apartment, maybe do some meal prep if I'm feeling motivated. It's less fun than Saturday, but it helps me feel prepared for the week.
That makes sense. Having that preparation time is really helpful.
Yeah, and Sunday evenings are usually quiet. I like to wind down early on Sundays because I know Monday is coming.
The Sunday scaries.
Exactly.
Part 8. Useful phrases and expressions.
Okay, so we've shared our routines. Now let's go over some really useful phrases and expressions for talking about daily life.
Yes. These are phrases that native speakers use all the time, and they'll make you sound more natural.
First up, first thing in the morning. This emphasizes that something is the very first activity. First thing in the morning, I check my phone. Or I have coffee first thing in the morning.
Similarly, last thing at night or before bed. Like, I set my alarm last thing at night. Or I read before bed.
Here's a common one, get ready. This means preparing yourself, usually getting dressed and groomed. I get ready for work, or it takes me 30 minutes to get ready.
You can also use it for going out. I'm getting ready for the party. Or, how long does it take you to get ready?
Another useful phrase, head out, or head to. This means to leave and go somewhere. I head out at 8 a.m., or I head to the gym after work.
There's also call it a day or call it a night. This means you're done with work or activities. At 5 p.m., I call it a day. Or, I'm tired. I think I'll call it a night.
Here's one people use a lot: catch up on. This means to do something you're behind on. I catch up on work emails, or on weekends, I catch up on sleep, or I need to catch up on my favorite show.
Oh, and wind down. We mentioned this earlier. It means to relax after activity. I wind down in the evening. Or, I need time to wind down before bed.
Similar to that, unwind. After work, I like to unwind with a book. Or, how do you unwind at the end of the day?
When you're talking about regular habits, you can say on a regular basis or regularly. Like, I exercise on a regular basis. Or, I regularly cook dinner at home.
Or you can use tend to talk about your usual behavior. I tend to wake up early, or I tend to skip breakfast on busy days.
That's more natural than always saying usually. It adds variety.
Here's a good one: squeeze in. This means to fit something into a busy schedule. I try to squeeze in a workout during lunch, or I squeeze in some reading before bed.
And make time for. This emphasizes that you prioritize something. I make time for exercise. Or, I try to make time for my hobbies.
When something happens every day without fail, you can say, like clockwork. I wake up at 6 a.m. like clockwork. Or, he drinks coffee at 3 p.m. like clockwork.
That's a great idiom. It means something is very predictable and regular, like a clock.
If you're describing a particularly busy day, you might say, I have a packed schedule today, or my day is jam-packed with meetings.
Or, if it's a relaxed day, I have a light day today. Or, my schedule is pretty open.
When you're in a hurry, you might say, I'm running late, or I need to rush, or I'm in a hurry.
And when you have extra time, you can say, I have some time to spare. Or, I'm ahead of schedule.
Here's one for describing your energy. I'm a morning person, or I'm a night owl.
Right. Morning person means you feel energetic in the morning, and night owl means you're more alert at night.
You can also talk about your productivity. I'm most productive in the morning, or I hit my stride in the afternoon.
Hit your stride means you reach your peak performance.
Part 9. Questions people ask about routines.
Let's talk about common questions people ask when they want to know about your routine. This will help you be ready for conversations.
Great idea. So the most basic question is, what's your daily routine like? Or what does a typical day look like for you?
To answer this, you give a general overview. Well, I wake up around 7, go to work at 9, and come home around 6. Then I relax in the evening.
Another common question, what time do you usually wake up? Or what time do you get up in the morning?
Pretty straightforward. I usually wake up at 6:30, or I get up around 7 on weekdays, but I sleep in on weekends.
People might ask, are you a morning person or a night person? Or are you a morning person or a night owl?
This is asking about when you have the most energy. I'm definitely a morning person. I feel most alert before noon. Or, I'm more of a night owl. I get my best work done after 9 p.m.
Here's another one. How do you get to work? Or what's your commute like?
You can answer, I drive. It takes about 20 minutes. Or, I take the subway. It's about a 45-minute commute.
They might ask about your work schedule. What time do you start work? Or what are your work hours?
I start at 9 and finish at 5. Or I work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Or my hours are pretty flexible, but I usually work 9 to 6.
About meals. What do you usually have for breakfast, or do you eat breakfast?
I usually have cereal and coffee, or honestly, I often skip breakfast. Or I'm a big breakfast person. I have eggs, toast, the whole thing.
Or about dinner. What time do you have dinner, or what do you usually eat for dinner?
I have dinner around 7 p.m., or I usually cook something simple like pasta or stir fry.
People often ask about evening activities. What do you do in the evening, or how do you spend your evenings?
I usually just relax at home, watch TV, read, that kind of thing. Or I like to go to the gym after work. Or I often meet up with friends.
About sleep. What time do you go to bed, or how many hours of sleep do you get?
I usually go to bed around 11, or I try to get at least 7 hours of sleep, or I'm usually in bed by 10:30.
And about weekends. What do you do on weekends, or how do you spend your weekends?
On weekends, I like to sleep in and take it easy. Or I usually run errands and catch up on chores. Or I try to get out and do something fun, hiking, going to museums, stuff like that.
Here's an interesting one. Do you have any morning rituals, or do you have a morning routine?
Ritual sounds a bit more special than routine. You might say, yeah, I always have coffee while reading the news. It's my little ritual. Or I meditate for 10 minutes every morning.
People might also ask, how long does it take you to get ready in the morning?
It takes me about 30 minutes. Or I can get ready pretty quickly, usually 20 minutes. Or I need at least an hour to feel human.
I'm definitely in that last category. Another question, do you cook or do you order out?
I cook most nights, but I order out once or twice a week. Or honestly, I order takeout more than I should. Or I meal prep on Sundays, so I eat home-cooked food all week.
And here's one about habits. Do you have any good habits you're proud of, or what's one thing you do every day?
This is a chance to share something positive. I exercise every morning without fail. Or I always read before bed. It helps me relax. Or I make my bed every morning. It's a small thing, but it makes me feel organized.
Conversely, is there anything you'd like to change about your routine? Or what's a bad habit you'd like to break?
Be honest, but not too negative. I'd like to wake up earlier and have a more relaxed morning, or I spend too much time on my phone before bed. I want to cut that out. Or I wish I made time for exercise more consistently.
These are all such natural conversation starters.
Part 10. Describing changes in routine.
Now let's talk about how to describe changes in your routine, because routines aren't always fixed, right?
Exactly. Life changes and routines change with it. So you might say, I used to wake up at 6, but now I wake up at 7.
Used to is perfect for talking about past habits that are different now. I used to take the bus, but now I drive. Or I used to skip breakfast, but now I always eat something.
You can also compare. Before, I would work late every night. But now, I try to leave by 5.
Before and now create a clear contrast. Before, I never exercised. Now, I go to the gym 3 times a week.
When something has changed recently, you can say, lately, I've been, or recently, I've started.
For example, lately, I've been trying to go to bed earlier. Or recently, I've started meal prepping on Sundays.
Or if you're planning to change, I'm trying to, or I want to.
I'm trying to drink more water throughout the day. Or I want to cut down on screen time before bed.
You can also talk about temporary changes. This week, I've been working from home. Or for the next month, I'm waking up earlier for a project.
And if your routine changes seasonally, in the summer, I bike to work, but in the winter, I drive. Or During busy season, I work longer hours.
If something disrupts your routine, my routine got thrown off because, or I've been off my normal schedule because.
My routine got thrown off because I was sick last week. Or I've been off my normal schedule because of a big project at work.
And when you return to normal, I'm getting back into my routine, or I'm trying to get back on track.
These phrases are so useful because life is unpredictable.
Part 11, advice for building good routines.
You know, since we're talking about routines, should we share some advice about building good ones?
Sure. I mean, we're not life coaches or anything, but we can share what works for us.
Right. So, first tip, start small. Don't try to change everything at once.
Exactly. If you want to start exercising, don't commit to going to the gym every single day. Start with twice a week and build from there.
You can say, I'm starting small by, or I'm taking baby steps.
Another tip, consistency is more important than perfection. It's better to do something small every day than to do something big once in a while.
Right, like I read for just 10 minutes every night is better than I read for 3 hours once a month.
Here's something that helps me. Have a morning routine. Starting your day with a consistent routine sets a positive tone.
That's true. Even if it's simple, like making your bed, drinking water, and having coffee, having that structure helps.
Also, evening routines are important too. They help you wind down and prepare for the next day.
I've found that preparing the night before makes mornings so much easier, like picking out my clothes or packing my bag.
Great tip. You can say, I prepare everything the night before, or I set myself up for success by planning ahead.
Another thing, be flexible. Routines are helpful, but don't be too rigid. Life happens.
Absolutely. If you miss a day or something comes up, don't beat yourself up. Just get back to it the next day.
You might say, I try to stick to my routine, but I'm flexible when I need to be.
And find what works for you. Don't copy someone else's routine just because it sounds impressive.
Right. If you're a night owl, don't force yourself to become a morning person just because someone said it's better.
Exactly. The best routine is one that you can actually maintain.
Last tip, link new habits to existing ones. This is called habit stacking.
Oh, I've heard of this. Like, after I brush my teeth, I do 10 push-ups. Or after I make coffee, I review my goals for the day.
Yes, connecting a new habit to something you already do makes it easier to remember and stick to.
These are all great tips. The language here is useful too. We're using phrases like, I try to, I make sure to, I've found that, it helps me to.
Right. Those are natural ways to give advice or share what works for you.
Part 12, common mistakes and corrections.
Okay, Maya, let's talk about some common mistakes that English learners make when talking about their routines.
Good idea. This will help people avoid those errors.
First one, mixing up wake up and get up. These are similar but different.
Right. Wake up means you stop sleeping and become conscious. Get up means you physically leave your bed.
So you can say, I wake up at 7, but I don't get up until 7:30. You can wake up, but stay in bed.
Exactly. Don't say, I get up at 7 when you mean you're still lying in bed at 7.
Next mistake, using make instead of do with certain activities. For example, I make my homework is wrong. It should be, I do my homework.
Yes. Generally, do for activities and chores, do homework, do laundry, do the dishes, and make for creating things like make breakfast, make dinner, make coffee.
Although there are exceptions. Make the bed uses make, not do.
English is confusing. Laughs. Okay, another mistake, forgetting the S in third person, like saying,
he wake up at 7 instead of he wakes up at 7.
Right. In present simple, you need that S for he, she, or it. She goes to work at 8, not she go to work.
Next one, using present continuous when talking about routines. Students sometimes say, I am waking up at 7 every day.
That's wrong. For routines and habits, use present simple. I wake up at 7 every day.
Present continuous is for actions happening right now, not habitual actions.
Another common mistake, wrong prepositions with time, saying in night instead of at night, or at morning instead of in the morning.
The rules are in for longer periods in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, but at for night and specific times. At night, at 7 a.m., at noon.
And on for days. On Monday, on weekends, on Tuesday morning.
Here's a mistake with frequency words, putting them in the wrong place, like saying, I drink always coffee instead of I always drink coffee.
Right. Frequency adverbs like always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never come before the main verb, but after the verb to be.
So, I always eat breakfast, but I am always hungry in the morning.
Another mistake, confusing go to bed and sleep. Some students say, I go to sleep at 11 p.m.
It's better to say I go to bed at 11 p.m. or I fall asleep at 11 p.m. Go to sleep sounds more like a command, like telling a child to sleep.
True. Or you can say, I sleep, but usually with duration. I sleep for 8 hours, or I sleep until 7 a.m.
And last one, using habit incorrectly. Some students say, it's my habit when they mean it's my routine or it's what I do.
Yeah, habit usually refers to a single, repeated action, often something small, like I have a habit of biting my nails, or reading before bed is a good habit.
But routine is a series of actions you do regularly. My morning routine includes showering, eating breakfast, and checking my email.
Great point. These little corrections can really improve your English.
Part 13, Cultural Differences in Routines.
Before we wrap up, I think it's interesting to talk about how daily routines can be really different across cultures.
Oh, absolutely. If you're learning English to travel or work internationally, it's good to know these differences.
Right. For example, meal times can vary a lot. In the U.S., dinner is usually between 6 and 7 p.m.
But in Spain, people often eat dinner at 9 or even 10 p.m., and they have a big lunch in the afternoon.
Exactly. So if you're talking to someone from a different culture, you might be surprised by their routine.
Work schedules are different too. In some countries, people take a long lunch break, maybe 2 hours, and then work later into the evening.
Yeah, the siesta culture. In some places, businesses close in the afternoon for a few hours.
In the US and UK, lunch breaks are usually short, 30 minutes to an hour, and people work straight through.
Another difference is commute times. In big cities like New York, London, or Tokyo, people might commute for an hour or more each way.
That's so much time. In smaller cities or towns, commutes might be just 15 to 20 minutes.
Also, the concept of work-life balance varies. In some cultures, working long hours is expected. In others, there's more emphasis on leaving work on time and having personal time.
Right. And when you're having conversations about routines, these cultural differences can come up naturally.
You might say, in my country, we usually, or where I'm from, it's common to...
Like, in my country, we eat dinner quite late, around 9 p.m., or where I'm from, most people take public transportation to work.
These kinds of observations make conversations more interesting and help people learn about different cultures.
Definitely. And if someone's routine seems very different from yours, you can ask, is that common in your country? Or, is that typical where you're from?
Great questions for cultural exchange.
Conclusion and homework.
Wow, we've really covered everything today.
I know, right? This was a big episode. Let's do a quick recap of what we learned.
We talked about time expressions and frequency words, things like in the morning, usually, always, sometimes.
We covered tons of vocabulary for morning routines, work-school routines, evening routines, and weekend activities.
We shared our actual daily routines and had a natural conversation about them.
We learned useful phrases and expressions like first thing in the morning, wind down, call it a day, sleep in.
We discussed common questions people ask about routines and how to answer them.
We talked about how to describe changes in your routine using used to, lately, and other phrases.
And we covered common mistakes to avoid and cultural differences in daily routines.
That's a lot.
But here's the thing. You don't need to memorize everything. Just start using a few phrases at a time.
Exactly. Practice makes perfect. Speaking of practice, we have homework for you.
Yes, your homework is to write or record your own daily routine in English. Try to use at least 10 of the phrases or expressions we learned today.
Answer these questions. What time do you wake up? What's your morning routine? How do you get to work or school? What do you do during the day? What's your evening routine? What time do you go to bed?
Try to add some personal details and make it interesting. Don't just say, I wake up, I go to work, I go to bed. Tell us something unique about your routine.
And if you're feeling brave, share it in the comments. We'd love to read about your routines and maybe even respond to some of them.
And try to have a conversation with a friend or language partner about routines. Ask them, what's your typical day like? And see how much you can understand and discuss.
The more you practice, the more natural it will become. Soon, you'll be talking about your routine without even thinking about it.
All right, everyone. That's all for today's episode of Learn English with Saya.
We hope you found this helpful and that you feel more confident talking about your daily routine in English.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.
And hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next episode. We have lots of great topics coming up, so stay tuned.
Remember, learning a language is a journey. Be patient with yourself, practice regularly, and don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Exactly. Every conversation is practice, and every mistake is a learning opportunity.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, Maya and Alex, and keep speaking English.
Bye, everyone.
See you on the next episode.
Oh, wait, one more thing. What topic should we cover next? Let us know in the comments.
Great idea. We love hearing your suggestions.
Okay, now we're done. Bye.
Bye.